So welcome to Uncut with Gina and Sukhdev. I'm so happy to have our first guest for the second series, my good friend Rocky from New York. Rocky went to university, studied business, law, psychology, interned with some major networks, VH1, ABC, BET, and has worked with P.Diddy, Rihanna, Paris Hilton, and many, many more. So please help me in welcoming Rocky Pamphile.
Hey, let's see, that was pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of things left out, but that was a synopsis, and I appreciate it. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm just ready to just talk. I have so many things to talk about.
So you can fill all the gaps. Can you start off by telling us a bit? Tell us your story. How have you got here? I'm sure it's an exciting one.
It's a book worthy of chapters, I would like to say, because I can always explain it, but it's better in detail. But to give people an overview of how I got here, aside that people are not really familiar with, I actually started singing. You know, I was a singer, I was an artist. Like I was trying to make it as like, you know, like the average singer and stuff like that. Things didn't work out so well, and things happen in the industry that you know kind of turned me a little bit off. You know, I've seen the bad side of things in business and through politics and all that good stuff, and eventually I kind of like took a break from being an artist, and I pretty much shifted and said, you know, let me start my business. I opened up R&D Entertainment Agency, which started off as PK Entertainment, and eventually started growing. I started meeting so many upcoming artists, and it eventually brought me into interning. So I did an internship at Def Jam Records a long time ago. So I had that experience. Then I just kept connecting the dots. I kept meeting superficial people, super, you know, important people in the music industry, and they kept kind of like, you know, just literally networking. I didn't really have a formula. I didn't run around with my resume all the time. I just literally was just enjoying conversing with people and just saying, hey, this is what I do, this is what I'm trying to do. And people were super excited to see that I was outspoken. And eventually I just connected dots. I ended up working on Love and Hip Hop, meeting people from VH1. Those who don't know who Love and Hip Hop, it's a reality show that's kind of popular. And then I started doing internships with VH1. Then after I met a couple of people from VH1, I met a couple of people from ABC. Then I met people from ABC, and they said, hey, we need someone else. You did a great job. We need someone else for BET. So then I met a couple of people at BET. So it was literally just a networking thing for me. It was nothing formal, and I'm blessed for that, because I know a lot of people who, you know, run around with their resumes saying I've had great work, but for me, it wasn't really like that. I just literally am good at networking, connecting the dots, and that's kind of like how I got a start. Within those working with networks, I started meeting obviously the Paris Hiltons, the Michael B. Jordans, the Rihannas, all these major people who liked my work from just experiencing rather than hearing. You know, a lot of people didn't hear say, hey, he's great. They actually see me on set working. They see me networking. They seen the work I provided. And like, hey, I like this guy. I want him to, you know, have a book coming out. I need a publicist, or I need some marketing. And that's pretty much the things that I think that got me to where I got. So, yeah.
So was this a dream of yours, Rocky? Like when you were a little kid, you were like,
absolutely not.
no.
This was never a dream. I could say it grew into a dream because my dream obviously was to be a singer. Like I wanted to be on tour. I wanted to be the next Michael Jackson. I wanted to be Usher. I wanted to be so many people. You know, I wanted to be the talent per se. As I kind of, like I said, as I took a break from being an artist and kind of helped others in their careers, that's when I realized like another dream that I wasn't conscious of was actually inspiring people in the entrepreneurial way rather than being the talent. So I realized that. I was like, wait a minute, there's a whole nother goal here, and there's a whole nother dream that I wasn't aware of. And it's to be one of the best publicists, and to be one of the best business person, and to be one of the best person that can assist people with their careers. So it was a dream that I haven't dreamt yet.
Awesome. Very cool.
that really struck me when I was doing a bit of research before this interview is that you're up for an award, and the award is
Yes.
about how you treat people. And I'd like
Hmm.
to explore that because you hear so much about media and the music industry about dog eat dog
Hmm.
and that perhaps people not caring. But what came
Yeah.
across in terms of what you've just said, and also in terms of the award, is that you've got a very different approach.
Yeah, I've always been quote unquote a good person. I guess this industry, like, it's so funny because you have to like be a mean person because people will try to take advantage of you sometimes. So you kind of have to be mean, but it was unfortunate because I wasn't a mean person, so I had to kind of like act mean if that made sense. So it's like a dog eat dog world, as you stated. It's like everybody wants to get to the top and they'll do anything. Be they'll crush you. They'll do anything to get there. And I had to understand that. But this year, the Black Media Honors, I'm nominated for Agency of the Year and Publicist of the Year for 2022. As you guys know, we had to skip 21, but we're going for 2022. But in actuality, the votes are for 2021. But yes, I'm nominated for two again. For those that are aware, 2019 I won Publicist of the Year in New York. So now, um, being awarded every year is showing that I'm doing something great. That's what I always say because if I'm not being awarded, I need to work harder, right? So now that I'm awarded, I already won Publicist of the Year last year. Now this year I'm nominated for two again, so I'm super excited. Especially in an industry where people are not so nice. These are people with millions of dollars. These are people who've been millionaires and rich their whole life. They've never been at the bottom. They never knew what it was like to be poor, right? So it's me bringing that humbleness and perspective. Some people do appreciate it and some people don't, but it is what it is.
What
What
strikes
sort
me,
of tips?
sorry, Sukhdev, what strikes me is that you're very authentic,
Hmm.
that you are yourself.
Yeah.
That comes across really strongly. I'd like to know what you think are the principles that you live by that are why you have achieved those accolades, and then I'll hand it over to Sukhdev.
Um, One of the main principles I can think of is pretty simple. I've learned this in the first grade and I never left it. It's treat everyone how you want to be treated. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of life, I think. I don't really think there's more to it. If people live by that one simple principle, and people don't understand how simple and how complicated they are. Treat everyone how you want to be treated is probably one of the simplest things to live by, and for some weird reason, it's the hardest human trait. So it's one of those things that I live by. I meet everyone and I respect everyone and I treat everybody how they want to be treated, and people appreciate that. And to always stay humble and to always live by I always live by you might not be rewarded now, but you will be rewarded then. So if you do help someone, even if it's doing what I do, helping careers, I may not be rewarded right then and there, but down the line, there's going to be a good karma that comes back around and helps me out. So
It's a great principle to live by, I think. And as you say,
definitely.
incredibly easy, simple,
Yeah.
but
Very
complicated.
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sukhdev, you were going to ask a question.
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of video footage. Like you've done so much awesome work. Um, there's videos of you in limos with some like superstars and events and like so many things, and it's amazing to me how you've taken just being like a kind person and a good person, and in a world that is like dog eat dog, um, and
Mhm.
and reached these superstars and built relationships. So for somebody who
Yeah.
might be looking to get into that industry, what would be your three biggest to for somebody who's just looking to enter the industry?
Number one is never give up. I know that sounds so commercial, but that's my story because it took me a long time because I kept meeting the wrong people. I kept helping people who would never help me back when they made it. I would help careers and people would never come back and say, "Hey, come with me," or "Let me help you out now." So I've kept meeting the wrong people. But being that I never gave up, I kept continuing because I could have been bitter. I could have been like, you know what? I'm not helping anyone else. Every time I help someone and they make it, they never come back and help me back. And they just continue continue to glorify with their career in the helps of me in my company, which is R&D Entertainment Agency. So I never give up. Come up with different ways to approach people. Like I said, the running around with the resume thing or sending resumes is, you know, is in my generation, but now it's like social media. Now it's like, hey, this is what I do. Now it's like EPKs. Now it's like different type of formats you can use. Now it's Zoom. Now it's Instagram. So come up with different ways to approach people with business rather than the stereotypical. Like I said, resumes are super cool, but you know, like people with money and celebrities, they don't have time to sit there and read your resume, even though they want to act like they do. Most of them really don't. So continuing a relationship is number one. You know, like you and I have, you know, continuing a relationship, continue to find different ways to work with people, come up with business plans, and just continue to network.
You know, when you look at things from my end, and I'm a lot older than you, here is somebody who's been very, very successful on anybody's terms, and you are still a relatively young man. What's the dream? You know, you're getting accolade after accolade. What
now? I would say sky's the limit. I never want to be. I never want to have someone to place me at my end zone. I want to go to my end zone and figure it out myself. I think that anything is possible and sky's the limit. You know, to be the most successful, I always see the higher ups who are higher than me, you know, so they're my goals. You know, people like Marvette Brito, who's working with so many record labels, and people like those are the goals for now, until, you know, I make it there and I put down another red carpet to find another goal that supersedes them, you know, because what happens is generation by generation. Like pretty sure Marvette in the 90s, her goal was to own a record label. Now she owns a record label. Now my goal is like not only to own a record label, my goal is to own 5 record labels. The person that comes after me wants to own 10 record labels. So just keep expanding the dream is my way I view it, and to continue to grow and continue to you know, place your end zone on where you want to stop. Don't let nobody else tell you where your end zone is.
What does that success mean to you?
Success? Success to me, oh, that's a good question. Success to me is not what others tell me success is. Success to me is accomplishing my goals, right? Because I've already placed my goals, and to be honest with you, like I don't want to sound so detrimental, but I could die today and I'll be fine with that because I've already accomplished my goals. My goals were very little. I'm actually over accomplishing my goals. My goals was to literally just start my company, get 3 clients, and then generate money and work off that. I've superseded that already. Now it's like I'm finding different goals and different dreams, but success is what you think success is. You know, I've seen so many people like competing with each other, and then what happens is you come in this industry, you have your goals, and then you meet someone else and you start competing with them, then you forget that you've already passed your success. Now you're just competing off of somebody else's success, you know? So you want to make sure you have your goals, your aspirations, and what success means to you. Because I know so many people who don't have the same dreams as me and they're successful. I know so many people who's working at Walmart and all they ever wanted was to be a cashier all their life, and they're successful, you know? So success is what you see and how you view it. And the way I view it is I'm already successful, just continuing success.
Okay. Lots of people who are, you know, talk about purpose. You know, what's your core purpose in life? Do you have a sense of purpose? And, you know, it's really interesting that you talk about that you've reached success, and indeed you have on anybody's terms. And if you died, then you know that you had achieved those goals. But there's a lot of life in the dog yet, I think, there.
Right.
So do you have a sense of something that you would like to be or accomplish in the next phase of your life, for example? But maybe it's not just about the record labels, it's about
Right,
you.
right. Yeah, I would say my next phase of life is to I've worked with so many people, but my next phase would definitely be to is to I would say eh, I would say to actually break through an artist. I've worked with so many successful people, but I've never made a successful story, meaning that I've never built someone from ground up. You know, I never met someone who is a complete stranger and then now they're an A-lister, you know, or they're an A-list actor. So my next goal is to finally find a hardworking person and to help them achieve their dreams and to also team up where we can actually, you know, make and break them. And so I can also have that on my resume saying, hey, this is the actor that I met when they were, you know, coming up and now they're, you know, they're in every single movie and stuff like that. Just so we could also partner and gain that success story together. So that's one of my goals.
Well,
Sounds
for the audience that's listening right now, that's a huge tip. If you're an artist, you want to make it big, come see Rocky.
Yeah, definitely. Follow me on Instagram. It's PK and then Entertainment 17, or you can follow RNDENT Agency. So that's PK Entertainment 1717.
now you talk about inspiring people and helping them grow.
Yeah.
So imagine, and you need a very, very big stretch of imagination. Okay. Imagine I'm one of your artists. Okay.
Yeah.
What are the things, what are the core things that you're going to offer me that are going to help me grow my talent and also my career? Because they're not necessarily the
hmm
same things, are they?
Yeah. So one thing that we do at R&D Entertainment Agency is public relations, meaning that we make the client more relatable to their public and to their audience. You know, branding you, obviously giving you expert advice because we've been in this business for 15 years. So giving you just advice is number one, and confidence and boosting their confidence, which is something that we can't personally do, but we try our hardest with our artists, and and expanding your brand and to build your brand. You know, and these things are very key because a lot of people think it's just about them as a client, but no, it's about them as a brand because that's the biggest thing, you know, is to build your brand, to build your network, and make sure that everything you have going on is key. But the biggest thing when we really start is public relations to make the client very relatable to the public because the public is the people who are going to support you, and the public is the people who will, you know, spend money and invest in you as well.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Sukhdev, have you got a question? Or if not, I have.
Yeah, I just want to know,
Yeah.
what would you say was your one of the biggest challenges that you faced in getting into doing what you're doing now in the position you now carry?
I would have to say keeping clients because um, there's not that much loyalty in this business. Once people see another publicist that's really good, or they think that's better in their minds, they tend to kind of like, you know, shade you a little bit or try to maneuver and work with them and then leave you behind when, you know, it's like, you know, building loyalty, I would say. Because I'm very loyal, but to build a loyal bond with someone else is probably the difficult that thing that I see because, like I said, a lot of artists and a lot of actors are super, you know, they're super hungry for this. They want this. They want to be successful, and they think by going to another company or going to another publicist, they think that's going to help them make it better. They kind of not they don't do the best thing by you know by being disloyal. So that's one thing that I think people will face in this industry is that you know, to build loyalty and to try to build a loyal relationship with clients. That's one thing.
And how have you been able to do that with some of these, P. Diddy, Paris Hilton, and Rihanna, and
By showing loyalty. I'm sure they watch me. I'm sure they they might not be literally following me on Instagram every day, but I'm sure they're checking in to see, I'm not making disrespectful comments on them. I'm not working with their people they might not be fond of, or I'm not, saying anything in my interviews to discredit anything that I do. So, once they see, my work speaks for itself, and as a person, it speaks for itself. So I try my hardest to show that through action rather than words. So that's why one thing I think they enjoy of me, that I am a loyal person. I show that. I continue to work with them every year whenever they need someone. I work with Diddy for his with Clive Davis for the Grammys, and then Rihanna for her Diamond Ball, and Paris Hilton for New York Fashion Week. And she calls me every year and says, I need someone to escort me for Fashion Week. And I'm like, hey, don't you don't have to tell me twice. I'll be there.
yeah.
So
I've noticed
yeah,
that
just
about you.
continue.
You're really giving. That's one of the main things I've noticed is you're really giving. You're always, when you're at these events with these celebrities, you're always, you have that recording and you're always posting them and you're tagging them, and then you have a relationship. So that's
Mhm.
something really powerful in the industry. That's one
Yeah.
of the main things I've noticed with you is you are a really giving person.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I do too. I always repost. There's videos that I haven't even posted yet because I want to continue. That's another key point I want to point out. Thanks for bringing that up. Is that I save sometimes I save videos that I don't share, and let's just say I haven't worked with a client in so long. I just randomly posted, be like, hey, remember this? Remember us working here? And they're like, oh yeah, you did a great job that time. Matter of fact, what are you doing next week? So I try my hardest to try to come up with different creative ways to um, to market my company, to market my work. So that's another strategic way that, as a publicist, that I do. I don't know if all other publicists do that, but I do that. Sometimes I save little videos of us on the red carpet. I don't really share until I need to, and obviously it shows other people who may want to work with me, and they're like, oh, he just showed a video of them working together, and it looks fun, it looks cool, they look comfortable, and hey, maybe I want to work with this guy. That's that kind of look.
Yeah.
Shines out from the conversation that we've had so far is that you, as I said, you're a man who walks their talk. You're
Yeah,
authentic. Integrity sounds as if integrity is very important to you,
yeah.
as is kindness. So, if you had to choose a few key words to describe your agency and what your agency stands for, what other words would you use to describe the way in which you've set this agency up, the way you and your team,
Uh-huh.
what you stand for?
The agency is extravagant. That's one word I want to use. Um, is What's another word I want to use? Is prolific, and um, I want to think of a good one. Um,
Sorry, I put you
the
on the
last one. Okay, I'm gonna use fabulous. I'm gonna use that one.
So we have
So
some.
that's three.
What
Yeah.
comes across is it's something of about expansion, something that has that's got it's really forging, moving forward. So if I was looking in, some people might
Hmm.
say to you, well, you've had a lot of luck, haven't you?
Mm.
That be your view? Would you think that you lived a child?
Absolutely not. Luck plays its role, but hard work and determination and tenacity is what I look towards, is which is really really major to me, because luck to me is like, hey, I found the $5 that I lost yesterday, but um, to me is hard work is when you continuously call these people, you continuously send emails, you continuously try to show up where they are, or try to you know build relationship with their teams and stuff like that. So it's a lot of work. And it's also, having an irrepressible spirit and continuously to be humble and continuously to showcase that you are authentic and you are these great, words and you are these, um, and also wanting to show people that you are the best at what you do. You should always feel that you're the best of who you are and you're the best in your field and you're one of the best of what you're doing. So.
Thank you. And it's not that I think that this comes with luck. There's a famous golfer,
Oh, yeah, no.
his name, who said, when I think it was a journalist who went up to him and said that you've had such a lot of good luck recently. And he said, isn't it, the more I practice, the luckier I get. And I think for people looking in to think, well, it's all right for you, it's all come easily, but without seeing the sweat and the graft that's actually created the foundation of what you do.
Yeah,
definitely.
One of the things I also noticed was you're always evolving and you're always creating and you're being before this COVID hit, you were getting people together to do a talk for the MVP events and VH.
Right.
And you're doing things that other agencies, I never hear about them doing. So you're always evolving and creating. I think that creative process comes from? Were you always creative as a kid, or is this something that you're studying?
I was I was the kid who was always in his room by himself creating stuff. Like, so I was an introvert growing up. So I was always in my room. My parents were like, you can't go anywhere. So I was always trying to find, creative ways to keep myself entertained. So that's something I've always had in mind. That's something that I always I think that was embedded in me. I think it's in my DNA to just be super creative because I don't know where it comes from. I'm always just thinking about something. Like I just can't like I know people, like I have friends who do absolutely nothing all day. And I'm just like, why don't we go here? Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go to the mall. Let's go eat ice cream. And they're just like, no. I'm just like, well, I'll go by myself. So I'm always thinking about doing something interactive or being creative. And it keeps me sane, it keeps me from trouble sometimes. So keeping myself creative and keeping myself evolving is something that that helps me. Like it's something personal. It's not even about everyone else. It actually helps me more than people know. And it keeps me, when I have bad breakups or if I'm feeling down, I'll come up with something to keep myself busy. So
yeah, because you're always adding value. It seems like you're always looking to add value to other people, by putting these together and where people can talk so many different things, and you get like the panel and the stage all together and things like that. So that's pretty. You don't hear about other agencies really doing that sort of thing.
Right. Well, they are now. They're copying me, but it's all right.
Greatest accolade, isn't it, when people start snaffling your stuff and copying it?
Yeah, you win and lose with that because you want to be creative, you want to be the only one doing it, but it is what it is.
But ultimately, by the time you've done it and they've copied it, you've moved on anyway.
I mean, yeah, but I'm also about inspiring people. But when I'm inspiring, at least say thank you, or at least like or leave a comment or show some sort of acknowledgement, right? Some people don't even do that. So.
Absolutely. It's nice if people have integrity and actually.
Yeah, like, hey, I like your post, or hey, I seen this, or hey, this inspired me. I mean, I get it, like secretly, like people write me secretly, but none of them kind of like want to be proud about me inspiring them, which is kind of sad, but whatever.
Why do you think that is?
Ego. That's all. Plain and simple ego. It plays a big role in this entertainment industry. Nobody wants to show who they're being inspired by or who's helping them because they want to look like they're doing it themselves. I don't have that issue, luckily, but plain and simple ego.
Isn't it? Because all of us will have, I think everybody needs someone to inspire them at different parts of their life.
Of course, definitely.
And to be able to turn around and say, I really appreciate that, thank you. And if you're listening to please take this principle on board. If somebody gives you a helping hand, then take the time to say thank you. It doesn't cost anything. It's a very
Doesn't.
simple word, but it has such a power behind it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's for free.
Well,
Why not?
I'd like to know, I know you're creative, but what floats your boat? What keeps you, your batteries charged, you keeping going? Because you're high energy.
Mhm.
So what is it that fuels?
I would say my past, looking back from where I was to where I'm now, sort of like saying, hey, I never want to be there again. You know, like I never want to be, you know, struggling or being in the midst of not having money or not being successful. So yeah, so my past and others who I see who may not be where they want to be in life. Those people inspire me because to keep going because it's like I never want to be there ever again. And I'll just keep thinking of ways to continue to hire up and continue to level up. And that's literally one of the things. And obviously to keep generating money and to being successful and continuously to help to because I know there's a lot of people who watch me and in business and to because it's not really about me anymore. It's more so about a lot of the people that I inspire. So when they see me, you know, climbing the charts, they get inspired. Like so many people are like, during COVID, I got so many messages like, you're actually still working. You're putting, you know, network gigs together during COVID. Like that's super impressive. And that's really inspiring me. So I got tons of that during COVID.
Brilliant,
And I never knew how many people was watching and how it was inspiring. So that also plays a part as well.
fabulous.
Yeah.
So you have a range of types of artists that you work with. So you have an opportunity now to say to our listeners the sort of artists that you work with, that you're looking for, that you aspire to work with. Who would they be?
Just hardworking people with a goal and a vision. As long as you have a goal, a vision, and determination, anything is possible. Worst thing you could do is work with someone who doesn't have a goal for themselves. They don't see themselves anywhere, you know, and that's one of the hardest people I can't work with. Like if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect me to believe in you? So as long as you believe in yourself, you have goals and you're inspirational and you're, you know, you have set boundaries, definitely can work with you. As long as you're actors, artists, entrepreneurs, motivational speakers, um, coaches, there's fashion designers, all the aboard we work with, we accept all clients, we negotiate deals with everyone, and we just try to help everyone the best way we can. And we are based in New York and Boston and Atlanta, Miami, so we're very bi-coastal.
And would you say that all of your artists are from the US, or do you have artists that are come from Europe or other places?
So many people from all types of places, overseas, the Caribbean, international. We work with so many different sides of the spectrum, and that's one thing we were working on was actually expanding to Canada and the UK. We wanted to have R&D Entertainment Canada, so we're working on that still. We're going to expand to the Canada. Hopefully, we can expand to the UK and the Essex, and we can yeah, that's one thing that we're really working on. That's one thing that's exclusive for you guys that we are working on some way to get R&D Entertainment to Canada so we can have all the artists and all the upcoming talent to have an easy access to R&D Entertainment where we can bridge a gap between America and the UK and in Canada, and that'd be great.
Sounds fabulous. So before I ask how people can get hold of you, Sukhdev, have you got any final questions?
Um, no more questions. I'm just, you know, I'm so grateful to have connected with Rocky and you know developed this relationship, this friendship, and I know we're going to be there's going to be an R&D Entertainment Agency Canada coming up. I know that 100%, and you know, keep doing amazing things, and yeah, and I'm just so proud of you.
Super, super.
So
Thank you guys for having me. I'm super excited.
when you have your a red carpet event in the UK and London, love to come and actually meet you in person.
Yes, let's do it. I've
Absolutely.
been wanting to come out there for so long.
So, how can people get hold of you? What do they need to do?
Okay. Yeah. So you guys could follow me on Instagram as PK Entertainment 17. So it's P as in Paul, K kangaroo, and then entertainment, then 17. R&D Entertainment Agency at gmail.com, or it could be ROCHELPAMPH at mail, not Gmail, just mail.com. And that's pretty much the simplest way. Shoot me a DM, Instagram me. I'm super available all the time. So make sure you guys connect with me. And if you have any questions, concerns, if you want to know my rates and how much the pricing is, definitely reach out as well.
So we'll make sure that all of those details are in the show notes so that people can, if they haven't had time to write them down, that they have access to those. It just leaves me to say to you, a huge thank you for joining us. It's been an
Thank you for having me.
Meet you. Hope to meet you again. And thank you very much for your time. And if you're listening to this, you have talent and you want to have an agent who really, really cares, then you know who to deal with. Just give them those contact details for the last time before we finish. Give the detail, Rocky, if you give the details again, just for the last.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, Instagram, PK Entertainment 17, R&D Entertainment Agency at gmail.com, ROCHELPAMPHILE at mail.com.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Rocky.
Thank you.